welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena for the second week of PEC Super Smash Bros. Collegiate Esports Games. My name is Audrey Norris. With me tonight is Sebastian Leeper to catch all the action as Boise State faces off against Southern California in the second week of matches. Now, as it is the second week, it is important to know that because we've gotten through that first little trial zone, teams have started to get composed, started to learn, started to adjust. With the fact that Boise State wasn't able to take home the gold this time, going into this next week, it'll be important to figure out how to best handle that and recover from that. So what are your thoughts on how Boise State, as well as all the teams that are learning and growing throughout this second week, might be able to do that?
In my opinion, it starts with confidence in your decisions and in your character choices. Last week, we saw Boise State represent a lot and a big variety of characters that I believe is just impossible to maintain to a degree for competition, right? I think they should stay to their guns and avoid focusing on just the matchup and focus on their play instead.
Yeah, and speaking of characters, Southern California's characters are pretty different from the characters that we were seeing throughout Syracuse's match with Boise State last week, which I think is really interesting because in previous seasons we've seen a lot of consistency in characters, not necessarily the entire team, but you'll see one character that's kind of a through line in every team that every team seems to really enjoy. But it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot more characters like Dark Pit, Kirby, Joker, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, and also other Pit. From the same player, which I think is really interesting. And also, I think it's going to be a really different change of pace for Boise State, since those were a lot of light characters compared to a lot of the heavy characters from last week, which will be a nice change of pace for Boise State.
Indeed, they're going to have to understand what changes in this environment because of that. They are probably used to those heavyweights because they're easier. They're just straight up easier in a lot of aspects to start playing, especially online. But now they're going to be thrust into more technical and nuanced interactions throughout their game. So I want to see how they respond to that.
I mean, yeah, no one wants to get hit by a Jigglypuff sleep, right?
Yeah.
No one wants to be sitting there with that one. So it'll be very fun to see how that goes. I do think, looking at this lineup, it'll be interesting to see with the character Calamari playing mostly Pit and Dark Pit, Echo characters, right?
Yeah.
I think that'll be really interesting to see which character they pick because, they are essentially the same character.
They're really close. It's definitely a by feel aspect, I think. If they really want to get specifically horizontal knockback, they might choose Dark Pit for their side B, or just something very minor that is honestly mostly aesthetic maybe.
Yeah, that's something that I find interesting about Super Smash Bros. Roster. When you look at it, there are a surprising amount of Echo characters. Echo characters are just characters that are meant to reflect another character's moveset. So you've got Samus and Dark Samus. You've got Ryu and Ken. You've got Pit and Dark Pit. And I think it's interesting because technically it's there's 70 plus characters, but really,
how many are there?
Are there, yeah. And so I think it'll be fun to see, especially knowing that Southern California today will not have the 4 total players that they need for a crew battle. They will instead be doing 3 players. Because of that, they will have 1 player playing 2 characters instead of each player playing 1 character. As with crew battle rules, you can only play 1 character per round, and you can swap to the next match. But for the first round you're always playing that character. So I think it'll be interesting. We'll be seeing someone, same play style, different characters. So that'll be, I think, an interesting challenge as well, and also maybe a potential advantage for either player, either team. Southern California might get the warm-up, but I feel like Boise State might be able to take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I really hope that it doesn't end up just being the Pit player also playing Dark Pit. It would just...
That would be kind of funny,
It would be kind of a cop-out. It would be very funny, but I'm more interested to see how 1 player can manifest 2 playstyles and 2 entirely different kits, and see what changes and what we see of this exact same player.
Yeah, that's not something we often get to see a ton of. We'll typically see 1 player playing consistently with 1 or 2 characters, mostly sticking on 1 because that's the role that they really need to play in a match, especially if they're having a lot of success. We never really see anyone but King DDD on Leodog. He's just, why would he change, right? That is the guy, he sits there and he's able to really well control and be the anchor for Boise State. So why would he change, right? And so, it's stuff like that I do think is always fun when we get to see a little bit of that variety.
Yeah, I mean, as everyone says, variety is the spice of life, and it's probably the most interesting part of these crew battles is seeing all of those 70, 80 characters in this game have a chance to compete and just be shown on the main stage. There's so many different ways that all of these 80 characters can even be played, so the player and the character matter when understanding and seeing what's happening.
Yeah, that's the fun of esports. Are there any of the characters on the roster currently that you're particularly excited to see? We got to see a little bit of Joker last week, but not a ton, so I'm kind of excited to see Joker back on the roster as a potential.
Personally, I have a lot of time on Joker, so I'm biased towards enjoying him. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. I'm also, Jigglypuff, I want to see the players show me setups. I want to see his lab time, and I want to see like up air rest. I want to see these technical and pretty hard to pull off combos to kill at like 40.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of the matches that we saw previously were stamina battles of just who could get the other person to a high percentage faster. But this round, with all the light characters, a lot of that, especially Boise State, was playing a lot of light characters too. Really, the only heavy character on the team was DDD. We're going to be seeing a lot more of just the set them up and launch them as quickly as you possibly can, not really a get them up as high on stamina as possible, because you don't really need to do that anymore. It's 80% will knock someone out perfectly fine.
Yeah, and the interesting part of that is the proficiency in setting up those kills and fishing for them, because if you don't find those kills, then you might end up stalling forever.
Yeah. And we'll get to see more of that later, as we are going to go to break before this match, but don't leave. We will be getting into the Boise State versus Southern California match right after this break.
Good job. Well played. 20 minutes. I just hear Ray yelling. I'm going to take advantage of this 20 minutes.
you're losing track. I know your heart bleeds. Don't lose your mind. Just let it be, let it be. Know you're dying inside. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. Close your eyes. It's gonna be alright. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. second chance, trusted you again. I feel shattered. Broken strings, cause you play me like a violin. Shame on me for all your 7 deadly sins. Had it all, but you craved attention. Drowning in your own reflection. Put me down just to see me get back up again. 6 feet under and you're ready to give all the pain. If I was your new addition, you make me part of your equation. Shattered from the past, wish you were my last. Shatter me to pieces like broken glass. Frozen looking at pictures that we took back in the summer. I thought that I would remember how it used to feel, but this isn't real. Now we're over. Take it all, there's nothing left here anyway. We used to talk, but now we don't know what to say. Now we're just two passing strangers. We tried, you lied, goodbye forever. Put me down just to see me get back up again. 6 feet under and you're ready to give all the pain. If I was your new addition, you make me part of your equation. Shattered from the past, wish you were my last. Shatter me to pieces like broken glass.
you sleep in my clothes. No, it ain't right, I've been stressing at night. We're together, but I feel alone. How long do I stand here in the fire? How long do I try before I'm on my own? How long do I walk across the wire? Stay till we fall. We don't know how to act. We get chaotic and say things we wanna take back. Is there a reason that we're still together? How long do we stand here in the fire? How long do we try before we're on our own? How long do we walk across the wire? Stay till we fall.
Hello, welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. After that break, we're ready to hop into Boise State versus Southern California in week 2 of PEC. Now, we've done some warming up to get ready for this match, talked about some of the matchups, some of the characters, what we might see, and overall, we're excited to get into a very, what could be eventful match for both of these teams as we're continuing to set the stakes and set up our teams for the rest of the season. My name is Audrey Norris, and back with me is Sebastian Leeper to catch all the action tonight as we continue on this cast. So, we were talking a little bit about characters before we ended the break. We were talking about, well, when we started the break, Pit and Dark Pick, Echo characters, some interesting things that we're excited for. We got a little bit into it, but something I wanted to talk about that we mentioned was technical characters, because a lot of the characters that we saw last week were heavy characters that kind of had one MO. They were going to get in there, they were just going to soak up damage and look for a way to like push you off, and they were totally fine with that. And so it was a lot of stamina battles, but we mentioned that this time it's not really going to be like that.
I agree, yeah. A big thing about the technical characters like Jigglypuff and Joker and Pikachu, I believe, that they're representing is that while they're harder to start playing for the player, once they're established, they're also pretty difficult to start fighting against, as you need very specific knowledge. So I'm very interested to see how Boise State adapts to playing this more knowledgeable game and focusing on what specific setups they can get away with playing around.
Yeah, personally, I'm also just excited to see a bunch of the little guys come out. I mean, we've got Kirby, Pikachu, Jigglypuff as potentials, and they're all the little guys, and so that'll be fun to see. I think it's interesting to see Pikachu. It's been a really long time since I've seen Pikachu show up, but he's a fun character to see around. I mean, he's fast. He's a really fast character. And, I mean, you got to get the main man of Pokemon out a couple times, right?
Yeah, one of our better players here in Idaho plays a lot of Pikachu. Their name is Mata. They host a lot of tournaments here, actually one happening at Boise State every Thursday as well. What that means for the players here is I believe they have quite a bit of knowledge against Pikachu. They know a lot of his cheese, because he does have quite a lot, and what to do against him more than a lot of other players might.
Yeah, we love getting cheesed by a random player with a Pokemon. You know, it feels just as bad as it does in Pokemon when you're in competitive as it does in Smash Bros. To get cheesed by a character. And there's a lot of characters like that, but hey, at least we're not seeing like the king of that right now, the good old Miner, who likes to hang out in the corner. We have not yet seen him, and I am completely fine with that.
Our favorite character, Steve. Yeah.
Ever since he got unbanned, I was like,
The
no.
crowd erupts.
Steve, yeah. I do love the way the announcer says his name.
It's
like,
perfect.
It's just like, because a lot of the other characters have like more complicated names, like a couple syllables, and then there's just Steve.
It's so good.
It's just Steve, and he sounds so like, I don't know. The announcer for Smash Bros. Is funny in general, like the way he says characters, and I don't know. I think back to like Sephiroth versus Steve, and it just happens. But let's see where we're gonna get into with characters. As we mentioned before, Southern California only has 3 players coming out tonight, so one player will be playing 2 characters instead of 1. We can already see some of the lineup potentials. Looks like we might be seeing Dark Pit, Joker, and Jigglypuff. And Olimar, Palutena, Pyramithra, and King DDD. A very similar lineup to what we saw last time for Boise State.
Which makes sense. Those are their most practiced characters. And something, we were just talking about the Smash commentator, and a big character that I see on their roster is Joker. If you didn't know, Joker's voice actor is the exact same as the commentator for Smash. Both are Xander Mobus. And the character itself, Joker, is really interesting to me because he has a very big tool set. He's very technical. He can go in, go out, camp view. So I want to see how Boise State interacts with the Joker specifically, because that might be a focal point to the entire crew battle.
Yeah, I think Joker is a very fun and interesting character when he gets set up. And we're going to go in ahead and take a look at some of the players. Yeah, our very own caster, Sebastian Leeper, on stage there. We've got a very fun lineup here for Boise State. And I'm excited to see how it plays out tonight. On the Joker, I am really excited to see that go through. You talked about it. Something we didn't really get to see a lot of Joker. He did get played, but we didn't get to see him a lot, which sucks because we really only got to see a little bit of Arsene, and I think that is a very interesting mechanic. I mean, anytime there's characters that have like 2 different versions of how they play, that's really fun to me. Because Joker, Joker himself, he's good. But, you're not afraid of him. As soon as Arsene comes out, you're like, stay away.
Yeah,
don't get near me.
He's usually the rascal trying to run away. And speaking of Joker,
Speak about him enough, and he'll be the starting lineup. It looks like Boise State versus Southern California is going to start with Pyramithra and Joker.
Yeah.
So we're going to get right into the match. Both teams already facing off, looking for that middle game.
And the big thing is speed here. They can both juggle each other really quickly and get each other off stage real quickly. They're both super quick. A big thing Joker's going to be doing is that down gun. We just saw it a bunch. It is his best disadvantage tool. It gets him out. It's basically a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, 35 to 30%. Both teams staying pretty close right now. Just looking for their opportunities to get an opening.
On the counter,
Good grab on the counter on the ledge here. Boise State not wanting to let him get off, but he is not going to let that happen as Arsene comes out.
Yeah, the big scary man. That back air does around 20%. It's very scary.
Yeah, with so much extra damage,
yeah.
able to knock Boise State off the side, taking the first stock of the game.
The Arsene, it's so powerful, and that's only a move that spikes with Arsene out, and it's super lethal.
Yeah, we can see that 66% on Joker. Arsene starting to run out. He's looking to try and get as much damage in as possible, but he isn't quite able to as Boise State is able to recover. 78%, 88% to 36. Boise State moving
ledge.
Joker to the ledge.
Joker
looking for that combo.
Oh, trying to overextend, but catch Joker on his defensive choices. Ends up not working.
Yeah, Boise State and Southern California in the middle.
No,
sorry. Fake out stock went across the stage, so he's able to.
That down gun every time. Yeah, that's a big part of the matchup. Is Joker is just going to be landing with his gun. It actually got nerfed a couple times. It's very scary.
Oh yeah, 2-2 now, able to bring it back to
The
even.
foresight, wow.
Yeah,
That's
70%
crazy.
on Boise State here. 34% on Southern California. Both teams looking to not want to lose too many stocks here as they start this first round.
Yeah, they're just going back and forth on the stage. Their mobility, especially since the stage is pretty small, it's not the normal Pokemon Stadium 2. Each punish just goes stage to stage. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, 100% on Boise State getting knocked off the ledge, looking for an opportunity for another stock loss, but Boise State able to recover, gets towards the middle, does not want to get hit by Arsene here as these powerful attacks could be devastating.
And they have so much, the possibility of even killing Joker before Arsene ends is pretty rare. Advantage needs to be secured or else this Arsene is going to find a straight hit and end the stock.
Now we can see he's really looking for that opportunity, knocks Boise State into the air. not able to follow through. He's gonna try again, goes off ledge. Boise State able to recover. Pyra not out of this yet.
Yeah, and the reversal a little bit here, just taking back the momentum. That counter being grabbed again, it's a little bit of a habit I'm noticing here. This Joker really likes to use either gun or down B.
163 to 91%,
Wow,
gets the knockout,
that wasn't
2-1, Southern California. Oh, 104%. Southern California is not out of it yet, though.
Yeah.
The chance of losing a stock here is high at 112% on Joker. We can see here in the middle, yep, they're looking for control. Boise State pretty comfortable right now with their percentage, but they got to be careful at one stock.
Yeah, and this is the big scary point. Joker managed to get 2 Arsens in 1 stock. You need to be able to find a straight hit or something. There we go. No, the air dodge.
Oh,
a little scary.
Gets the grab. He's going to knock him off ledge. Will this be an opportunity to cut this Arsen off short? Not quite. Boise State going to get knocked away and some extra damage off for good measure for that Joker.
And the coverage Arsen gives, it makes all of his moves bigger as well, even though they're stronger. So it just lets Joker cover a wide array, but Arsen's gone, and so is Joker.
Yeah, and with that, we're brought down 1-1. Southern California starting at 0%, having the advantage here in this fight, but Boise State is not going to give it up as they're looking for their opportunity to get through those shields, wanting to be as careful as they can, though, at 94%.
If there's anything Pyra and Mithra are good at, it's offense. And any one, never mind. Sorry. A little bit of a side B off stage just ends the game.
Yeah, with an unfortunate recovery miss there. Southern California able to take the first round. However, Joker at 1 stock is not going to have a great time dealing with the next opponent. I mean, as we were talking about a little bit, there is that weight difference. A big part of what was really challenging last week is that when the heavy characters are at 1 stock, it's kind of like they're at 2.
Yeah.
And so a heavy character kind of feels like they've got 6 stocks. Like, you're fighting for every single stock loss. But in this game, for them, they're going to be able to very effectively take out those stocks as long as the player is not able to avoid damage. And Pyra is not one of those characters that you're able to really avoid that much with their powerful attacks. I mean, Pyra you can dodge, Mithra not so much.
Yeah. The big thing I want to see, since Joker only has 1 stock, is the avoidance of Arsen. If that is possible, if you can manage to take the stock early, or just not feed into Joker's big counter, which doesn't do that much damage to the opponent, but instead gives him more Rebellion gauge, which is what gives him Arsen in turn. If our players can manage, or BSU, sorry, manages to avoid that situation where Arsen comes out in the first place, it's the best for them.
Yeah, I mean, Arsen is a very fun mechanic. As we the basics of what we've been talking about this entire time is he essentially just takes Joker's damage percentage and the radius of his abilities from really, really tiny to really, really big. And so you go from I can dodge this to oh my goodness, the fire is all the way to the top of the stage and I can't dodge it anymore. And so it's very honestly, I think it's very fun to see. Like, when you see the fire attack go out, like when he shoots flames at you the first time, you're like, it's not that bad. It's just like, it's barely a particle effect on the screen, and then just giant pillar of fire.
He snaps his fingers and just...
It's gone. Yep, you're gone. You can't even see the character anymore. So yeah, he's a fun character to see in play, and it'll be very interesting to see going forward. We can also see top right of the screen right now, all the picks and bans going through. So you can see right now, it looks like we're not going to Final Destination, Battlegrounds, or one more that I didn't get the chance to see, which means Pokemon Stadium.
Our favorite, the classic for competitive games.
I love Pokemon Stadium.
And we're seeing Laydog pretty early here. Yeah, but DDD is pretty good at killing Joker early, so we probably won't see Arsen unless something goes awry.
And we can see Boise State wanting to end this quickly. DDD already trying to go out, but Joker is not really giving him the opportunity to land here, bringing him all the way up to 66%. Agordo comes out, though. Arsen is also going to be unleashed with the amount of damage he took in that moment. Going to try and dodge around it as much as we can here, but Boise State does not want to let Arsen hit him.
And honestly, Laydog's fine with just chilling up there in the air. He can't really be hurt for too much. He'll probably take like 30 if he gets hit. And Arsen timer's slowly going down, and that's what you need to happen. You can't let Joker hit you with Arsen right now.
Nice throw off to ledge. He's going to try and knock him off. Does not want to let him out of there, but he's able to dodge around and knocks Boise State off the ledge instead.
Wow. Yeah. Oh wow. Leydog chose to roll. That's pretty risky, but he can't really die there, and he took ledge for it. So pretty key choice there.
Yeah, 88 to 94%, staying very close in percentage right now. Joker dishing out as much damage as possible.
Well,
But when
DDD dishes out Gordos.
inhales the Gordo and launches it right out, knocking Joker out. This is what we were talking about here. Things that really wouldn't have worked in the last game, where a Gordo hit like that wouldn't have knocked someone out, gone off the stage. And so with that, Boise State is able to even up the game, not losing a stock in that retake, bringing it back to 9-9.
Yeah. And we might see more of that player, not on Joker, but any one of these players we might see more of, because those 9 stocks, they got to be divvied up by those, or the extra 9 stocks.
Yeah, we'll get to see if Raffi comes back as a different character. Could be Pikachu is what we heard, so that'll be interesting to find out. But with that, we're 0-0. Well, not 0-0. 0-0 on the first players. Now we get to see who the next player might be for Southern California. What do you think might be the next character to come out?
I think choosing Jigglypuff is very scary into DDD. A big part of DDD, I will repeat this quite a lot, is he is the hardest character, the single hardest character in the game to kill off the top. You cannot knock him out off the top. It is ridiculously difficult.
That is Jigglypuff's favorite thing to do.
Jigglypuff's key move is rest. It's a very small move that does a huge amount of knockback, but it goes straight up, and it's very difficult. She needs to set up into the move, and if that doesn't happen, at later for Sunset can't really happen, then she won't get knockouts that often. So by virtue, I think Dark Pit will be coming out.
Yeah,
Or
I would not be surprised if Dark Pit came out either. It would be fun to see the attempt on Jigglypuff, but leading a really, really light character into a really, really heavy character doesn't typically end well for the light character, especially DDD, who can dish out a lot of damage and catch you off guard. And as we were talking about the win condition for Jigglypuff being off, like getting off the top, DDD doesn't really care about that, rarely actually gets knocked out that way. But let's see. We can actually see the bands a little bit more this time, too. It looks like we're getting a couple different we're getting some Battleground bands. We're getting the Animal Crossing stage band. So Pokemon Stadium, it might be again.
It's our favorite. I mean, it's the most neutral stage.
Yeah.
It's not actually. There's some quirks of it.
We don't see Final Destination, so it could be that as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Final Destination.
Yeah, it's so sad. I love, like, it is a very pretty stage, but I understand how distracting it is. That is the one thing. We have, we talk about there's so many characters, but in competitive, there's not that many stages, even though there are so many opportunities.
Oh, my goodness.
And looks like...
I was wrong.
Hey, I said it might be fun to see, and it looks like we might get to see it.
That's interesting. This
the
is
Kalos stage. We got the other Pokemon stage. All right, we're going into it. Jigglypuff versus DDD. Getting right into the match. Jigglypuff trying to take some opportunities, but Leydog is not going to let that happen here.
This might be a little bit of a slower game. It's pretty wide, but Jigglypuff's actually going in quite almost instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a very recoverable state for, like, many characters in the game. Jigglypuff went for a really risky attack there and was able to take a stock for Boise State. 12% to 56%.
I mean, high risk, high reward, that's the embodiment of Jigglypuff, and we're about to see the high risk, I believe, with this beautiful situation for Leydog.
Yeah, this Jigglypuff is totally fine with dancing with danger, and Leydog is not having any of it, looking for his Gordo.
Oh my goodness.
And takes a page out of Jigglypuff's book, knocking them up and knocking them out, taking their stock 2-2.
A little bit of scary situation for Leydog, but manages to evade it. He kind of wants to outrange this Jigglypuff the entire game, basically.
Yeah. Oh, got another Gordo bounce off there. 63 to 52. Not holding back with the Gordos right now. Tried to go for the hammer, wasn't quite able to. That's okay, as we're in a maybe.
That is a very precise timing to hit. That is pretty impressive.
Still up. Unfortunately, not able to recover from that one either. 2-1. This Jigglypuff really making us eat our words on the win condition is knock at the top of stage.
Yeah, we haven't even seen rest yet, which we might see for the final stock. It has a lot less risk on that one, but
I will have to see. 2-1 right now. Leydog looking to even it out here. Gonna knock out Jigglypuff, bring it 1-1, but at 42%, Leydog is not where he probably wants to be.
Yeah. And this Jigglypuff, just holding W towards the DDD one, looking for any opportunity to get in.
Yeah, we can see this Jigglypuff is like, there is one direction I go. It is left or right, and it is all the way to the end. We can see it 86% on Boise State here, trying to look for an opportunity. Good shield from Jigglypuff, gonna knock him off ledge, tries to get the Gordo, isn't quite able to. Now at 119%, really just looking for an opportunity here on this ledge, and it's dangerous for both parties.
The defensive options for DDD is very scary. Like, if Jigglypuff is just pressing buttons obnoxiously in a row, eventually Leodon's going to crack and get KO'd off the frame.
And with that, DDD is out for Boise State side. However, they are preventing Southern California from getting a huge stock lead right now. They are only one stock ahead, which is probably one of the most comfortable places you can be when you're dealing with a stock lead.
Yeah.
So one stock left on Jigglypuff is not the worst spot for them.
I think the biggest disadvantage isn't even the stock. It's giving Southern California is getting control over the choices, because Boise State is taking their turn to choose their counter pick for one stock, and then that gives Southern California all the intel they need to choose what player
they get to watch a full match of a
Yeah.
character, when realistically the goal of any one stock character is to stall and potentially take as many stocks as possible. If you are the anchor, then your goal is to try and take all of them, but realistically it's really hard. When you've got one stock, any mistake, that's the end. And so we'll have to see going into it what the next pick might be on Boise State's side to handle this character.
We got the Doctor. Palutena's pretty strong. I mean, back air is always consistent and very difficult to call out. And honestly, that's probably what I would choose in this situation. Jigglypuff struggles. She needs to be in the air. I mean, that's their entire game plan other than rest. And Palutena denies that option of holding W. We saw Jigglypuff holding W the entire time.
It's honestly a really funny thing. You don't see that with a lot of the characters, so just watching, I go this way, and you go with me. Always thoroughly amusing. I totally forgot that they could do that, so first stock I was like, what just happened? Hold up,
Carried
wait.
off, yeah.
And then Jigglypuff was like, I'm just going to keep floating back to stage. Don't mind me. I have great recovery.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not be shocked by the Palutena pick here, just to knock out the Jigglypuff and try and create a better defense for whatever they choose to pick next. I don't know. Jigglypuff was just kind of more of a menace than I was expecting there.
Yeah, the aerials were the big difference. Jigglypuff didn't even attempt rest, which was the big thing I was talking about. But instead, DDD couldn't get them out of their way, which is a big issue. And we're going to see the Olimar. A little bit interesting on Final Destination.
Oh, hey! We get to see it. So
Spice
yeah.
of life.
We get to see a little bit variety in our Smash Bros. Stages. We love to see it. And Jigglypuff is going to do their stock reset, bring themselves down to 1.
And here we go.
And we're going to see Boise State versus Southern California. Olimar versus Jigglypuff.
And yeah, this stage is very good for Olimar, in my opinion here. He can just keep on throwing Pikmins, but that is not what's happening right now. Carrying it off the side, a little bit scary.
Oh, going to both go for the recovery. Jigglypuff going to try and deny it. Goes for the knockout, able to take a stock. 2-1, gaining a bit of a lead.
Indeed. Olimar needs to just take their patience, take your time. It's fine. Accruing a better crew. We have a red and purple Pikmin here. Those are typically considered the strongest ones.
And with that, we're trying to get some damage in.
Oh, this is where the party starts
Jigglypuff
for Jigglypuff.
begins,
But we get away, with the Phantom Footstool there.
Gonna avoid that as much as possible. Jigglypuff's gonna attempt it again, bringing Boise State up to 60%. Olimar does not want to get taken off the side of the stage right now and is gonna try and stay in the middle as much as he possibly can here. 60% to 75. Nice, powerful attack there. Trying to go for another attempt, but Jigglypuff just flying around as many of the Pikmin as possible.
Yeah, and in this position, Olimar only needs a couple straight hits, and Jigglypuff needs a little bit of a chain here, which is pretty hard to form. There we go. There's that straight hit I was talking about.
The nice straight hit, knocking the light character off the side. Boise State able to knock out the Jigglypuff and keep a character on 2 stocks, which is what we always want to see.
Kind of sold a stock. It's very scary with these type of characters. They can just take you out in a snap.
You're just gone. As much as a light character can be dangerous, they also tend to be kind of glass cannons, and we can see that fully here with Jigglypuff. With that, the stock lead has continued to stay 1 in Southern California's favor here. Boise State looking to close the gap, might get the opportunity here with a bit of momentum on their side starting the match. However, as we were talking about, that counter pick is all in Southern California's court right now. What do you think that they're going to pick against
Honestly,
Olimar.
I don't see the pit coming out. I think they're going to use their wild card, their sub, and choose a very quick character. Olimar hates being rushed down. It's his worst trait because he's a zoner, right? So we might see that Pikachu. That was an option. I honestly don't remember, but just
Yeah, Pikachu was something we heard about potentially. Kirby, maybe. We might see a character we were not expecting. I mean,
Yeah.
last match that we watched, we saw a Min, which was completely
menace,
out of left field. So there's always the opportunity for that. In fact, I mean, again, with the large character roster, that's one of the best things. Is sometimes you just see a character you're not expecting. Sometimes you're like, oh, maybe they'll stick to the character that they were playing, and then suddenly it's Rob, and you're like, oh, now we're dealing
I
with the
have been
spinny
robbed.
robot. I have been robbed. Oh, yeah, with that, I think it'll be very fun to see that going forward. Olimar is a fun character. We didn't get to see a lot of him last time just because the opponents he was going up against were just really hard for him. But I think, you know, the idea of having different Pikmin that have different abilities that you have to swap through is a really fun just mechanic to have. And so, you know, it's from a great cutesy little game going into the fighting game with your little buddies to
one of the least
help you
expected
out.
games. It's pretty popular, Pikmin. It's quite a fun game, but there's not too much fighting in it that Olimar does, which
I
is
know.
why he uses the Pikmin.
So actually, it's kind of funny that Olimar is in the game considering the focus of it. But it looks like the Dark Pit will be coming out for this. And we're going to see Boise State, Southern California, Dark Pit versus Olimar. We're going to get the stock reset. We're starting at 2 stocks for Boise State.
And something a little funny is the Pikmin repertoire there is a little bit different than normal. It's white, purple, and red. One of them's dead already, but that changes from the start of the match because he had to sacrifice his stock.
Yeah, and with that, we're already getting some good damage on both sides. Boise State able to zone out the pit a little bit here. 69% on Southern California right now. Not wanting to get into too many dangerous melee brawls, so he's keeping Pit at arm's length.
Indeed. That shield is going to be a big part of it. That can reflect Pikmin, not fully reflect, but it can stop them from attacking. That purple back air. Purple is the most important Pikmin. It does so much knockback.
Yeah, and with that, Boise State is able to even out the stock count, bringing the game back to an even playing field. 55% on Boise State, 41% on Southern California.
And with 2 very strong Pikmin, 2 purples here, it is the chance for Boise State to claw their way back into the momentum of this series.
Yeah, great opportunity here. We can already see Olimar having a much stronger foothold here. 73% to 53%, getting knocked off ledge, but not deterred. Pitt really trying to get him into an opportunity spot to knock out his stock, but Olimar is not having it.
Indeed. His recovery is really variable. We see it a couple times. He throws the Pikmin away to go a little bit higher. It's pretty interesting. Meanwhile,
oh, shield, tries to shield. He doesn't
Yeah.
throw any Pikmin, goes in for the grab instead. Now he's gonna look for a potential stock loss, but he's gonna bide his time. He's got time. 116% on Pitt. He can do it when he wants, like right now.
yeah, the same situation 3 times in a row. Just back air, back air, back air.
You gotta watch out for the Pikmin back air. Looks like Southern California tried to go for another ranged attack opportunity, not able to follow through on it. Boise State comfortable on the ledge here right now. They got an extra platform to work with for the recovery, and they are using it full force with 117%.
It's looking like Southern California are floundering here. They're just looking for any stray smash attack to work, but they're getting punished for it really, really hard.
Yeah, 131% to 76. Boise State in a little bit of a dangerous zone, but really wanting to end this as quickly as possible.
Still
They
hanging
try to go
on.
for it, but once again, yeah, stray attack though, 1-1 brings it even again.
And with the loss of that stock comes the loss of purple, so it's potentially very scary here for Olimar. He needs to manage his Pikmin in a very specific way to get the end of this game.
Yeah, 81% to 34 though. Pitt has to be very careful. High enough percentage to be knocked out. We're gonna get a little bit of a ledge brawl, but we're not gonna see anything come through here. 89% to 46. Both sides just not wanting to lose this last stock. It could change the momentum of the game rapidly.
Entirely, yeah. And we see that purple. It's the key fact.
It's back.
It is how Olimar takes the momentum here. This ledge trap, looking for the end.
Yep, he's waiting, he's ready. 110% on Dark Pit here. He is trying, you can see he really wants to get Olimar off ledge here. He's looking for his opportunity, taking a lot of percentage through it, but he's not finding the opening that he needs right now, and Boise State is using that as much as they possibly can.
Indeed. Pit is looking for a bunch of weird grounded options. He's looking for smash attacks, grabs, just anything to get this fight onto the ledge, as we see right here.
136 to 90%. Yeah, this is great. Honestly, that platform is doing wonders for Olimar here. He's avoiding as many attacks from Pit as he possibly can. It's giving him a lot of space to work with. We can see just continuing to throw Pikmin over and over and over again, not allowing that. And with that, Purple taking all 3 stocks, I think.
That makes sense. The MVP for real.
And once again, the MVP, but not really ever getting the glory as Red and Yellow get to celebrate along with Olimar in that victory screen.
That's legacy right there. The original Pikmin gets to take the glory.
They look at Purple and go, yeah, hold on. We know. Give us a moment, please. With that, Boise State is able to take the round and gain the momentum, as we were talking about, gaining a 2-stock lead, and now we'll get to see what the final character that Southern California might bring out to this to deal with it. And so Dark Pit came out.
It can be anything, unless you want to see Pit again.
It's true, it could be Pit again. We know, you never know. We might get Dark Pit and then Pit. Never know if we'll get the Echo character. I kind of doubt it, but could be fun. You never know.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of picks that we were saying, oh, it might not be this happen. So for all we know, it could also be, we've heard Kirby, Pikachu, and for all we know, it could be a mystery character. We could see a Bowser. We could see a King K. Rool. We could see Rob, as I mentioned earlier. Could be many characters. I think it would be really fun to see, I don't know, I like Kirby. Kirby could be fun.
Kirby is a quite nice character to watch. Pretty simple, just a brawler. We're going to see the hero, Raffion Hero. That is a very spicy choice. Let's go gambling and
like personified.
There
that is
go.
the
Thank
character. Let's go gambling personified. Hero's a great character. For those who might not be fully familiar with how he works, since he's from a game that has a lot of it's a JRPG with a lot of abilities, a lot of spells. He gets just a fun button where he gets a random array of all the spells and abilities that he has, and he just gets to pick one. And some of them also include things that just cause instant stock loss, like Explosion, where he just explodes. And it could cause the other person to lose a stock, but you're guaranteed to lose your stock.
Yeah. It's a big cheat menu. Either you're going to get cheated of the game or they are.
It doesn't matter. No matter what, someone gets cheated. That's such a great way to describe him. Yeah. Unless you run out of mana, then you just don't get to play with the cheat menu anymore.
You're just bad Marth.
Then you're just bad Marth.
Slow, clunky.
Is it bad Marth? But Marth's already bad.
Poor guy. He can just switch to his Echo character, Lucina. That character's pretty strong.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Marth isn't bad per se. He's just not as fun to watch as some of the Fire Emblem characters. I mean, some of them have flashy fire. They're really fast. They have big moves. Marth is just the basic sword guy for the most part. And I don't know. With that, though, we're going to get right into the match.
Anything but basic about a come-up. We're going to have to see the Olimar sadly take those stocks real quick, but...
It's always such a funny thing with crew battles when you're like, why are they doing that? And you're like, oh yeah, they have to reset their stocks. 3-1. Boise State starting at 1 stock here.
Yeah, and there's always the potential this 1 stock goes either crazy if Hero accidentally deletes themselves, or it could just go instantly awry.
We did see the Kamikaze already on the menu, so you never know with that. But so far, Hero using that to their advantage, trying to get some good spell damage out before Olimar can really stack on the Pikmin.
And a big thing we saw very early game is those buffs. That is what Hero is really looking for. He wants to go super speed or super quick, but he doesn't really have the time right now. He's being pressured by Olimar.
Great ranged abilities from Olimar, really putting on the pressure. He's going to get a grab off and throw Hero off the ledge. Gets to use Zoom, though, as the one thing we talked about it being a cheat menu. It really can be sometimes. You might have a perfect stock setup. We can see Olimar looking for his opportunity, but for all he knows, might just get a Zoom. But it looks like Olimar is going to be the one who gets thrown off stage. He's going to get the recovery, though, as Hero's looking for his next buff.
Yeah, and Hero is out of mana, so he only has this one Accelerato buff. But something very small about the buff is that it makes him way less tanky. Ends up not mattering, and he gets a heal and a whack. That's scary, yeah.
Oh, massive damage on Olimar, bringing up to 109%. Gonna float to middle, but Hero is just looking for his next word swing and opportunity, and he's able to get the knock off there, launching him off the side, taking the stock.
Very unfortunate. That 103%, it's nothing now.
Yeah, but with that, they are able to get a read on the next character for Southern California that they might use, Hero, which, you know, it's good to know when someone is playing Hero, because you never want to, you know, if we're playing a game, we've talked about like a random character surprise. You don't want to get the king of random when you don't know he's coming, because not only is it a random character, it's the random moveset that just, the gift that keeps on giving for either player. So
Indeed.
with that, we know that Boise State is going to be going into
And
most
what
likely
better to counter randomness than the queen of consistency, Palutena, here from the dock.
That'll be Palutena
Palutena,
versus,
sorry.
Hero will be a really fun character. I think it'll be a fun matchup. I mean, we've seen plenty of Palutena. Palutena is just, they're the character that you're like, oh, so they're mostly ranged. It's like, well, kinda, but they can do melee. It's, they're a melee character. It's like, well, they kind of do both. It's like, are they like bad? No.
Yeah, their mid-range is terrifying. They're either going to use the explosive flame on you from very far mid-range, or they're just going to press back there. That move is armored, it's big, it's damaging, it's everything.
Yeah, Palutena has the benefit of kind of getting to play however they feel like for whatever character they're dealing with, which is really fun and great for them when they get to be like, you know, you want to go really fast, but I'm going to play this one slow and you have to deal with me. So it's a great character for control and a really good anchor character for Boise State going into this against Hero, who can dish out so much damage at close range. It'll be a great way to deal with that.
Indeed. And it looks like we're going straight into the match here. Palutena versus Hero. No SDs, so instantly playing here.
Yeah, this is going to be the last match of this round. Whoever takes this will be the one to take the first of the best of three. And we can see Boise State wasting no time, already trying to get as much damage onto Hero and knock him out before he can get his buffs.
Yeah. And a couple of attempts there by Hero, but nothing really coming to fruition. Palutena just chilling, not letting this Hero press down be the big button for Hero.
Yeah, 54% on Hero right now. Palutena trying to keep that ledge on guard right now. We can see going to great success so far, but does get launched to the other side, giving Hero the opportunity to look through and decide what he might want to use. Gets a kaboom off, getting some really good damage on Palutena.
Avoids the whack. That could have been the entire stock. Barely misses, which is good for our Palutena. Zoom avoiding the ledge situation entirely.
I've only noticed Zoom ever when he's been off ledge, so he's been very lucky with those. However, he might not be lucky right now. 118%. Boise State looking for a potential opportunity to knock him off the side. He's able to avoid it narrowly from that attack there. But a kamikaze goes off, and the stock is lost.
That was most definitely a top deck. He only had that menu up for like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah. As we mentioned, you can just sometimes lose it from the gift that keeps on giving, and it looks like Boise State benefited that time.
Oh, that was very technical. Canceling the up B there into a down air, getting a little bit of a lead here, but Hero, every hit he gets, obviously he gets percent, but the big thing is he also gets time to menu, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, 138% on Boise State. Not a great spot to be in right now with such powerful attacks from BSU, but Boise State is not letting up, still feeling pretty comfortable. 49% right now to 150. Because Boise State isn't worrying about having to go into a next match, they can be a little bit dangerous here if they so choose.
Yeah, I mean, you got to press the advantage some way, and if the stock doesn't matter, just take it and make some risks for that advantage.
We got a little Goomba stop on stage here. Boise State really trying to avoid it. Gonna get knocked out though. 2-2 fireball, giving great effect here for Hero.
Do not pass go. And that is, without Zoom, Hero is helpless on the ledge versus Palutena. So gambling for it is a big win condition for Hero, just to get off of the worst situation.
Now Hero able to get in another buff, 74% on Hero. Boise State looking for an opportunity, trying to avoid a powerful attack. Able to dodge a couple. He's really looking for his opportunity here. Gets a bounce off. Not bad when you get hit off the ledge, but
this bounce on Hero right now doesn't really matter. Not many projectiles can come out anyways while Palutena is on the ledge. Oh, the parry, yeah, straight into a new attack. More ledge trapping, no Zoom available.
Yeah, 98%, 58%, 69%, and 112% now. Boise State and Southern California just trading blows back and forth on this ledge here. Boise State trying to keep the control. Hero jumping around those attacks as much as he possibly can.
He's just trying to get his space and sling.
He's like, I'm
Oh,
okay.
that's supposed to face snipe.
Wow.
Hero actually had zoom there, but his momentum fell. So straight into the explosive flame.
Falling straight into Palatena's trap there. Takes another stock. 2-1 now. Boise State at 100%. So could be a chance for the stock lost. And with that,
Ridiculous.
1-1, we are down to the wire for this very first match here. Both teams vying for the
Could not
opportunity
be
to
closer.
take the first match. Stock for stock, percentage for percentage right now.
And that mana is being spent. Hero wants to generate any advantage they can.
25% mana, 57 percentage.
Pretty big risk though if he doesn't end up getting that much. He's gonna have to play the rest of this game without mana. Very scary. He needs a hit to be able to do anything really.
Yeah, not really able to get a hit with the magic. Palutena able to press the advantage, knocks him off ledge where he 100% does not want to be right now, especially 93%.
Extremely
trying
scary.
to lock down the ledge here. Once again, just getting knocked off.
And he has to-
he's
oh.
going to not be able to recover.
He doesn't
with
have
that,
it. Yeah.
Boise State able to take the first match in this best of 3.
Indeed. Something interesting about Hero that you noticed actually, Zoom has very varying odds. So off ledge here, what Hero did there, he did not want to try and recover and go back to ledge against Palutena because the dock was so scary there. So he gambled it all on a zoom there and he did not find it.
Yeah, well, and you could see he did not really have the mana for what he needed either.
Yeah.
And so, once you get down to that, I thought that was interesting actually. One thing about Hero is like mana management. And you do have to use your abilities a lot, so it's really hard to stay up on that. But just once you get down to the wire, it's so scary because you start looking around, you're like, I don't have anything in my back pocket. And then you look in front of you, and Palutena's just like, what are you going to do about it, bud?
Yeah, she's just gonna keep on
I'm going to
swinging.
smack you with my shield, or I'm going to hit you with an explosion, and either way, you're not having a good time.
Yeah. When you're out of resources, you gambled. So the obvious gambling on Hero is his spells, obviously, right? But even as a player, you have to choose to spend all of your resources for advantage, which Hero needed there on that final stock. He wanted to take the entire crew battle. But if you end up missing just a little bit, the entire game's mana worth is gone.
Yeah, and we could see there was a couple really crucial spells there that he did try to get off, a couple kabooms, things that he really, really needed that Palutena just barely was able to move out of the way of. And because of that, ultimately did not get the percentage he needed on her to knock her off ledge and just allowed the doctor to just sit there and hang out, and he didn't really have a hard time with that
He's
at all
chilling.
at the end. Yeah, I mean, that's what we said. Palutena makes you play at their level, whatever they really want to do, and in that moment he's like, I don't need to move. You have to move.
Good luck.
You're out of mana. You have to come to me now. So yeah. No, I think with that, though, Boise State able to secure the first round, it's going to give them a lot of really good information going into the next match.
Yeah, we know a Hero's a thing now.
Yeah,
that was random.
Granted, that could change. We don't know. But, yeah, knowing Hero is a great thing to have. The danger of crew battles is always just the lack of information. If you don't quite know what people are going to play, you can see matchups. You can look into the players, see what they've been playing. But there's always that chance for a back pocket character, especially when you are trying to take the opportunity. So we'll have to see going into this round, will we be changing any characters out or will we be sticking to it? I wouldn't be shocked if Boise State stays where they are. They were very comfortable, able to make a lot of really good plays. The question will be if Southern California is going to adjust their play style to handle that.
Indeed. It was really close, I can't deny. So I wouldn't be surprised if neither team switched or if we saw a lot of spice here. The most likely switch could happen would just be Pit, but that's boring, Dark Pit and Pit. We've been over it a couple times. But other than that, we might see a little bit less Joker, for example, and more, stronger standard characters. We're just going to have to see, eh?
Yeah, as we jump into it. But it looks like
Roy.
we're going to get a swap from Boise State. Instead, swapping to Roy to face off against Joker. They heard us talking about the Fire Emblem characters.
And this is one of the more interesting ones. Very snowbally. His hits matter. Roy's does. And that's what we're about to see right here with this juggle.
Yeah. Not a lot of fast attacks, but when he hits you, it hurts. And we can see that already. Joker at 49% to the 30% on Boise State here. Joker looking for his opportunity to get Arsene. He gets it. And now Boise State's going to want to play a little bit more carefully in this melee brawl.
There are two answers to Arsene. It's brawl yourself and get his Arsene away from you, or run away. And what we're probably going to see from Roy is just him swinging his sword and praying for the best.
I mean, Roy does what Roy does, which is swing his sword and hope he connects really well. But it looks like Southern California is going to use Arsene to get an opportunity to take a stock from Boise State, bringing it to
Classic.
2-2.
Yeah.
Looks like, as I was
Roy,
saying that, Boise State is going to look at that and go, we can do that too. And now we're back on an even playing field.
The setup characters, like we've been talking about, jab to back air is Roy's most classic combo to end stocks, and that's what we saw there during the invincibility. But what we're seeing now is Goki's Boise State saw that Joker was trying to get out of a disadvantage with gun quite a lot, and manages to swing it, but ledge is so scary with Arsene. The counter, we've seen it a couple times now.
The amount of damage that Joker is putting out right now is really not great for Boise State. 85-72. Boise State gets a nice grab, gets a little bit more control of the stage. But Arsene is just so dangerous right now. We can see Boise State at 104%.
But the jab
Gets the knockout though.
Arsene is gone, and that's a river in the desert for Roy there. Just finds the jab, finds the confirm, and is now going to find more opportunities to press the advantage.
Yeah, 105 to 13%. Boise State staying comfortable to a degree, though Joker is going to try and change that really quick. Boise State narrowly avoiding that there. 27, 36, 52% on Joker. All the way activated to Arsene. Boise State's going to be very careful here on out if they can keep this stock.
And hey, this ledge situation gives a lot of time for... okay.
Oh, Roy hit his head against the stage, loses the stock there. 1-1 now. Boise State having the advantage on the percentage right now, 60%, with Arsene slowly dipping down. We're getting into the last couple seconds here. And Boise State
couple seconds. Okay. Just a little bit of scare there, but now Roy is pretty chill, and he just needs to find a jab, a couple aerials, and that could be the stock for Joker. While Joker has to put in a lot of work here.
Yeah, 103, 112% Joker is starting to smoke. It is not going to be a very easy battle here for him if he wants to take Roy's stock, and Roy knows it. Jumping in here, not afraid to get in his face, looking for that opportunity at 79 to 121%.
And while that jab doesn't kill, it does put Joker on the ledge. Very scary situation for him. Though he manages to get out with gun. And this scramble, jab back air.
Jab back air.
3 times on the ledge right there. Jab
He said it once, he said it twice, he said it 3 times, and it takes the stock, giving Boise State the advantage this time, and able to keep the first stock, which is good. We've kind of flipped the script here.
I hope that script doesn't stay flipped, because that would end up making California the victors of this second game in the set. Maybe a new story can be written, a story of momentum for Boise State.
Yeah, momentum on either side. We'll see if Boise State is able to keep up the momentum. Roy having a lot of high damage abilities does make me feel like they'll be able to be pretty menacing in this next character pick for Southern California. He's not exactly a character that is likely to get away unscathed from. I mean, we've talked about the Fire Emblem characters. We can talk about them a little bit now since there is a Fire Emblem character on screen. There are so many of them.
There are. There's Marth, Roy, Lucina, Ike, Robin, and a couple others.
Byleth. I was like, where's Byleth? I was like, it's in my brain. I forgot Byleth last time. I won't forget Byleth this time.
They all have swords. But all of them kind of use their swords in unique ways. Marth is the original, so he's the most boring, as we've talked about before, and Lucina, they're Echo characters.
Yeah, they do things very similarly, as we mentioned, with the Echo characters, but then we've got Roy, who's primarily a heavy hitter with flames. We've got some characters that are a lot faster and loose, and we've got Byleth. Byleth is probably the most unique out of all of them. I mean, the DLC character, newest character added to the roster. Able to use a sword, but then transform their weapon into a lot of different options. So they go from sword to spear to bow to axe. And so they kind of get to play around with what they're doing, because at any moment you could be facing a really short range sword, to a very long-ranged weapon or a very powerful axe to the face, which is never a good feeling. But yeah, with that though, we are going to be seeing a bit more of Roy specifically. I really enjoy him as a character. I will say I always have struggled with his up B though. Just it's such a hard one to use for recovery. Like if you're at the right angle, it's fine. But as we saw in the previous match, sometimes you just slam your head into the stage, get a concussion, and lose a stock. So like that can be the unfortunate. I mean, I don't know with the speed that you hit that stage.
Funny, yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if many of these characters were not feeling great after hitting the stage. Especially when the opponent is the one who does it to you. So
yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, we can see we've got some more bands coming out. Oh, some stages we haven't seen yet, a couple that we have seen.
And in my opinion, the shorter stages are the big scary ones for Southern California here. They do not want to be in a box with Roy. They want to be able to spacing out at least a little bit so that the big hits turn into sour spots, because only the hilt of Roy's sword is the big scary one.
Oh, and we're going to get to see a Jigglypuff versus Roy.
Yeah.
Not too surprised by that. Looks like we're getting the Kalos stage, which was pretty menacing for Jigglypuff previously.
The early percents are very important for both sides here. Either Jigglypuff gets a huge chain and takes Roy off the side with his bad up B, as we were talking earlier, or Jigglypuff can get jabbed at even 45 and explode.
Yeah. So we'll have to see who's going to be able to get the first hit off and really set the tone of the match. Boise State looking for those early percentages, trying to get a couple jabs off, not wanting to let Jigglypuff get any combos in, because any stock they can take will be important here.
Yes, of course. Just keeping the resource game, the stocks, the numbers, but that recovery, and just like that, not even 30 seconds, really.
Yeah, Jigglypuff just really needed one nice opportunity to deny any recovery chance. But for that, it's all right for Boise State. They haven't really lost anything truly here. They are at an even playing field, and they've seen this Jigglypuff before. They know how it works, and so this time they'll be able to go in with a bit more knowledge. I will say one thing with this Jigglypuff strategy that makes me laugh every time is that because the moves don't look super strong and like don't do a lot of knockback unless percentage is high, it really looks goofy when they just like, I'm just gonna tap you with my feet.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Until you're off stage, and then suddenly you're like, well, can Jigglypuff recover? And then Jigglypuff is like, well, let me just absorb some air and just happily
Like
bounce my way back. I know, it looks... Jigglypuff is a very goofy-looking character to watch in Smash Bros. I mean, we see a lot of characters that have, like, these big, powerful moves or, like, looking really serious, and then Jigglypuff is just like, I'm gonna roll around, I'm gonna jump and kick you a little bit, I'm gonna do a little fly away. It's such a funny character.
There's so many different characters in this game. It's ridiculous. I mean, with 80 characters, it's bound to happen, but there's 2 different round characters in this game, just round pink puffballs.
I know, we've been mentioning it. I'd love to see some Kirby. I don't think it's happening, but we do get Jigglypuff. Honestly, the one I see less of, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, no, Jigglypuff has been an interesting character to see. Prove themselves to be a pretty strong opponent for Boise State.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who's going to go up against them. It looks like it might be Leodog on King DDD, ready to run it back and try and take out the Jigglypuff.
Something I want to see Boise State avoid is we've seen Jigglypuff on Kalos every time, the blue Pokemon stage.
Don't let it happen.
Home field advantage, and it seems like it's pretty easy for Jigglypuff to carry you off there.
I mean, it's such a wide stage, it really does give Jigglypuff a lot more room to work with, and especially with the extra platforms that come out. Not only that, it's just kind of a rough stage for DDD with the Gordos. Looks like we're not going to be going there, though. We're instead going to go to Final Destination, which we talked about not getting picked a lot, but it's getting picked twice this match. So we get a fun starter, and we can already see going right into it, Boise State throwing out a Gordo, Jigglypuff jumping in, trying to get some brawling in. 62 to 25.
DDD's big goal here is to be air traffic control. They need to cover the air, not let Jigglypuff get in at all. Just pressing big moves and hoping for the best for them to hit, to be honest.
Yeah, and already seeming to work out really well for Boise State as they take the first stock of this match here. Now 54% on DD.
Big miss.
Pretty comfortable.
This could be the entire stock.
Almost.
Not entirely, only 45%.
I mean, when that was like basically from 0, but still really good damage for Boise State and probably a heart attack moment for Southern California. 76% on DDD. Jigglypuff tries to go for the combo, but he is not having any of it. Throws out the Gordo, tries to reflect it, not really able to, and now we're going to the ledge game.
from one ledge to another here. Just Jigglypuff pressing buttons, getting DDD away from him. DDD's defense in the shield is one of their biggest problems.
Yeah, 125% to 69% on Jigglypuff gets launched into the air. Gordos are out. We can see the ledge game dance. DDD's not going to let it happen, though.
Face plant straight into the puffball.
Yeah, we can see now Boise State playing a little bit more dangerously on ledge, looking for that opportunity. 134% is dangerous, but if you can take that final stock, that is a big win here. And Boise State wants it, going to launch Jigglypuff into the air.
And with that percent comes higher knockback with the rage mechanic. Very easy to take the stock here for DDD, strong and raged.
Now 134% now.
Jet hammer. That will kill no
for
matter
a jet
what.
hammer.
For the
Jigglypuff is
fans.
like, I'm okay.
Oh,
Does not get it, 144%. But DDD is
Ridiculous scramble.
hanging on right now. Jigglypuff going to try and deny, gets the knockout. Stock lost for Boise State, 2-1.
and that's likely going to be the last one.
And
Unless Jigglypuff plays something
76%,
crazy.
yep.
And yeah.
Oh, fake out.
Fake out. We love that from the game.
Yeah, 97% now on Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff still dancing around on the
Precarious
bench here.
position.
And Jigglypuff is looking, they're like, can I get one more before the potential knockout?
Rest is pretty scary here, but Jigglypuff has to get a lot of percent for it to matter against DDD.
112% on Jigglypuff. This is a not fun position no matter what. Any tap could really knock out Jigglypuff here. Jigglypuff trying to look for those combos. DDD just trying to
That
avoid
percent's
it.
racking up.
Yeah, it's racking up over time. 88, 89%, 102% on DDD. Sitting on the ledge here at 112% on Jigglypuff. Hasn't really moved a lot. Oh!
Wow, that was on the precipice of living, but alas.
Thought that was going to be a fake out, but it didn't end up being the case. Boise State loses another stock, 1-1 here.
And this is when you start to sweat. You had such a lead, and now you need to make it back up in your mind, in your heart. You need to calm down a little bit if you're BSU, in my opinion.
Yeah, 112% to 50%. Boise State taking a lot of damage, able to get a nice big swing in there, bringing Jigglypuff back to ledge. Tries to go for the Gordo, isn't able to succeed. 132%. This Jigglypuff is defying all logic of light characters, but no more as the Gordo bounce up, hits the Jigglypuff, knocks them out, letting Boise State take the stock.
The spike quickly pops the balloon. At 132, that's a ridiculous percent.
Yeah, we were talking about light characters. We didn't get into it a ton, but like, again, that's kind of, we were talking about how knockouts can start happening in the range of like 40 to 80%. So getting about 50% above that, very insane, especially for Jigglypuff. Like there's a range of light characters. Jigglypuff is not normally one of those that sticks around that long.
Yeah, definitely the lightest. One of the lightest in the game.
Yeah,
but
only really trying to
Pichu
think.
maybe?
Pichu? Sora?
Sora's light, but not that light.
Not that light, yeah. He's deceiving, but the Jigglypuff is one of the lightest characters,
Yeah.
and so with that, Jigglypuff is knocked out. The menace that took so many people off the side
Yeah.
defeated, and now it's
takes
down to Dark Pit and Hero against the rest of the Boise State lineup.
Yeah, and the big thing is every time we're here, Leodog, heavies, those stocks can matter a lot. So this one stock, it's only one technically, but it can.
Yeah, we mentioned
wreak
it's
havoc.
almost like two
Yeah.
stocks at that point. With the amount of damage you have to realistically get onto DDD to actually get him off stage, it's not easy. So it's not, like, for these two characters, I don't think it's impossible, especially Hero. If Hero can get a really high damage spell off, that could be an effective way to deal with it. But just in general.
Oh, Wolf. It was updated a little bit.
Oh.
I don't know if that's about to happen right now. Wolf, the big thing about him is his laser. It's really annoying for DDD to interact with, I would imagine.
I mean, as many times we've seen, anytime there's a ranged attack that can counter a Gordo, it makes it a lot harder for DDD to handle it. And, you know, Wolf just kind of pulls it out, shoots it. He's got a nice little, it's a slower projectile too than some of them. And so it gives him a little bit more control of it. And so, you know, in general, like, I don't know, I like Wolf a lot too. He's another character that I like playing, but because his side B can be a little, it's really easy to accidentally fall off a ledge with, but most players at this level aren't going to have that issue. And so we're going to see an interesting battle between Wolf and King DDD, it looks like, going in.
On PS2, the classic. This is kind of interesting for Leodog. He has a lot of space to deal with lasers since there's two platforms there. The aerial approach is a lot stronger on this stage than, like, Final Destination, for example. And we're going to see that come to fruition instantly, as these lasers are not really doing much for Wolf and Southern California.
Yeah, 3-1, 11% to 10% right now. A little bit slower between these two characters right now as they're going to just kind of feel it out as per whenever a new character gets in. Leodog starts to gain some momentum, 54% onto Wolf. Just kind of looking for an opportunity here.
Indeed, and Wolf has to be the prerogative here. DDD is just going to swing buttons. Wolf has to find their opening, and since they're so short range, they're going to have to make it count.
And Wolf is not able to dance on the ledge as much as any other character, and that's already getting to a dangerous percentage for Wolf. 96% here. All DDD has to do is just find a nice hammer swing off the side of the ledge, and Wolf is not going to have a good time.
Just chilling in the air, pressing buttons, where Leodog is at their most comfortable for sure.
Yeah, 108 to 51%. Wolf starting to smoke a little bit. We can see good parry there, able to dodge what could have been a pretty painful attack.
Indeed, but Wolf needs to make this next hit count, in my opinion. He has so many times just has to go into the hammer, and right here is a chance.
Oh, starting to get some air time on the other character. Not able to keep it up, though. Brought DDD up to 111%. DDD hanging on the ledge, trying to look for a hammer attack, potentially.
Whoa.
Oh, gets a grab. This could be dangerous for either player, but, you know, Wolf is not going to jump off of ledge to contest that right now.
Yeah, not dealing with that. Just going to try and find a forward tilt, just any button to take this DDD stock and avoid his own death.
That grab could be dangerous.
Yeah. On the ledge, scariest position possible at this percent.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And with that, very clean stock there for Boise State. 126% though. They'll have to be careful. One stock left, but able to take a stock from Southern California is huge. And Leodog is not done yet.
Yes, he is.
Catch the curse.
We'll take it though. Boise State will take it. That is an extra stock on the scoreboard.
Yeah, this has been a very tight match in the fact that we have stayed about one stock apart the entire time. We haven't had any like crazy upsets where one team is like 6 stocks ahead and then one team takes all of those 6 stocks and now it's back there. We're staying pretty comfortable, just kind of hanging out together as we go slowly down to the next characters. But Wolf has now been scouted out. We know he is one of the player potentials.
Yeah, he exists. We know that now.
Yeah, and so now we've got some comfortable opportunities. It looks like Dr. Schmungus might be swapping to Lucina now.
Yeah.
Lucina and Olimar are new options for Boise State side.
We've seen a bit of Olimar, but Lucina, it's another consistent character. Where we always talk about it with the doc. Their Palutena usually is the one taking the forefront there, but Lucina just presses buttons in the air as well. It's kind of like DDD and Palutena, just controlling that aerial space.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about Fire Emblem characters, and now they're just all showing up, all ready to go. That's what they're like, we heard you. Now look what you get to see. You get to watch us play Fire Emblem in Smash Bros. So yeah, we get, I think it looks like we're going to see Dr. Schmungus playing Lucina, so that's going to be the next character pick, which will be a very, it's a good character for Wolf. Wolf is, a melee guy, but he has a really short range melee. Some of his special abilities do give him a bit range, but they're kind of unwieldy at times, and it's not really his main play. Lucina has a bit more range with her sword, so it's going to be a fun match to see between these two characters as we go into Hollow Bastion. Boise State versus Southern California. We're going to get the stock reset.
There we go.
Have a little fun, know. And with the taunts off, we're going to begin immediately going into the projectiles.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's Wolf's tried and true, gotta force you to approach with those projectiles, but Lucina's pretty fine at it, just advancing with their aerials here.
Yeah, getting 36% onto Wolf, 59% onto Lucina, both just trying to keep control of the middle right now. Giving just small engagements back and forth, not committing to any full crazy combos quite yet. Wolf gets a nice combo off there though.
Yeah.
Able to take a stock from Lucina, bringing it even 2-2.
The key part of that is even. Now Boise State has no more extra credit. They just gotta chill and play some honest, good Smash Bros here to keep their momentum going.
Yeah, 112% onto Wolf, not where he wants to be. But he's not really having too many issues yet. Lucina knocks him off ledge, not anywhere he wants to be, but he's able to get the ledge recovery.
Happens. Yeah, any stray hit from Lucina here spells the doom of Wolf, and that's the game plan for Lucina anyways. He just wants to get one hit. So
Now we can see one
there we
hit
go.
working out. 2-1. Boise State able to get the lead once again. However, 83% on Lucina is not the best spot for them, as we can see, getting knocked off ledge, going to try and go for the projectile, able to avoid it. Still playing a dangerous ledge game now.
that forward air is so rough for Wolf to contest.
108% to 60%.
The big thing, yeah, they're just going to be looking for a kill setup, either a back air or a smash attack. There's the back air
And
right
you can
there.
see, yeah, with Wolf's really solid back air, able to knock Lucina off. 1-1, we're staying very close contested right now.
It's such a tight set for Boise State in California.
Yeah, not really able to gain enough momentum to keep it going. Both sides vying for the control. Wolf at 125% on ledge. Again, literally the worst nightmare that he
Yeah.
is just being forced into by Lucina. One more time, just gonna keep going. I mean, hey,
Again and
if you
again.
first
and again.
you don't succeed, try and try again. Keep the Wolf off the ledge. Don't let him play the game. Just let him stay in the air.
Do not give him ground to travel at all. Just force him to play this horrible situation over and over.
Yeah, and the fact that he's at 171%.
Anything. Oh, I love
Anything?
being
And then we
faked
got a
out.
fake out.
Yeah, that dash attack, very notable in how awful it is, to be honest. So one of the very few moves, not that scary for Wolf here.
Yeah, 185% to 38%, 195%. Is Wolf a heavy character? Where
He's
are we at this
relatively
point,
heavy,
right?
but I would put it on Lucina. She has a bit of her heritage, arthritis there.
Oh, able to get
There
through
we
it
go.
this time, though. Takes the stock.
Yeah.
Lucina keeping the lead for Boise State, one stock ahead this entire time.
One stock ahead, one step ahead, and hopefully one game ahead here for Boise State. We're already one, so can we make it two?
Yeah, if the momentum is able to continue, Boise State might be able to take the entire game tonight with this final area. We do have one last character for the side of Southern California, which is most likely Dark Pit, unless we get any changes to the
Yeah.
roster.
Could get Pitt or Kirby. I don't see Kirby happening. Kirby is very stubby, very scared
Yeah,
of these sword normals.
I think that Dark Pit has probably is the more comfortable character into
Yeah.
Lucina and Olimar. I mean, Olimar, we saw the struggle, but at this point, if you have to get through Lucina.
Yeah.
If you lose too many stocks going through Lucina to get to Olimar, it's not going to
over.
end well. So trying to get the best momentum you can, quickly knock out Lucina. And we did see that, I see Kirby.
A little bit of fun. Who needs theory crafting when you can have fun
Yeah.
in competition?
I mean, we love a good Kirby. We're going to get both of the light pink spheres out running and ready to go. Kirby does have some potential power. I mean, like, we do have some really solid abilities. I mean, Kirby's down B when he's in the air, so dangerous. If you hit someone with
Yeah.
that, they're high percentage, they're gone, and that's a really good way to avoid some dangerous attacks from the Lucina as well. So there's some potential, and I mean, who knows,
Yeah.
maybe we'll see Kirby get a swallow off and then get to take a sword of their own
Yeah.
to get into the melee battle.
Sadly, that sword is shield breaker. Not too useful. It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it's
just
always
seeing
funny.
Kirby use such ranged attacks.
I just enjoy seeing whenever Kirby is able to go, so what do I get from your kit today? And then just have some fun with it.
It's really funny when the neutral B is the character-defining move, like Steve, of course, his blocks, or Shulk's Monado.
Yeah, no, Kirby's a fun character, and we're going to get to see that in the next match when we get to decide the stage here. We can see the bands once again.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what Boise State wants here for bands. They want a very wide stage, just room to chill and space out Kirby.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked if we see either Pokemon the Kalos Stadium, we might see one of the others. I mean, at this point, we've got a lot of options here. We've got Final Destination, we've got Hollow Bastion, which, beautiful stage. Glad we got to see it once. We don't get to talk about it a lot, but the stage design in the game is really fun, and it's just nice to get to see so much thought into the different stages based on different characters and the different games. I mean, the Animal Crossing stage is just so fun because you get to see just in the background, like you're brawling it out and they're going about their business in everyday life and or cheering for you in the moment, which is such a fun thing to see.
Yeah, and even that thought and attention, like you mentioned, on those Animal Crossing stages, only on Saturdays, I believe, very specific villager comes up, which is pretty neat. It's he plays a guitar. He's a little dog.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
KK Slider.
KK Slider. I was like, what's his name?
The attention to detail is so beautiful from this game. It's a big reason why we play this game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a huge celebration of like everything in the game, in like all the games throughout the history of like Nintendo and other series adjacent to Nintendo properties. And so it's just a fun way to like see what's going on and just get to see all these fun crossovers. And then we get some of that as well from other characters. If people choose to play Mii Fighter ever, we can see some of the costumes, which are always
pretty
fun.
Scary.
I mean, hey, they can be, like, definitely. But we're not going to be seeing that today. We'll see a different sword fighter.
Brawler.
Yeah, a different brawler in Lucina versus Kirby. We'll get the stock reset. Boise State going to be starting at 1 stock. So, as we said a couple times, the goal will be to take out as many stocks as possible before that stock is out.
Leave a bit of room for our anchor Olimar here, and we're just going to see how it goes. We're on Final Destination. A little bit of a change with the Omega form here.
Yeah, no extra platforms to use, giving it a straight brawl for both of these players. Just kind of going into poke a little bit, not trying to commit too much quickly. 49% on Boise State. Nope, Kirby's going to launch them off the side. 62%. Not going to follow through too much, though, looking for an opportunity to just get that.
Yeah, fighting for the stage's positioning. There's no platform, so it's really hard to go from one side of the stage to another. And that's been the big problem for Lucina here. Going to manage to get to ledge, but scariest part of the stage. Yeah,
high percentage means a lot of opportunity for Kirby. Able to deny that before they can get anything off. Tries to go for the swallow, able to block it. 109% to 74. Boise State tries to gain the ledge control, but Kirby's not really letting it happen.
Yeah. Kirby just tasked with getting a back air probably kills, and up smash, just looking for anything that kills. They don't want to drag out this game. As many interactions as happens is how they lose the stock.
Yeah, 141% to 84%. Southern California very comfortable just taking this game as slow as they can. Gets a grab onto Lucina, gonna try and launch them into the air. Almost faked us out there again. Lucina at 159%, hanging on as best they can, trying to they just need one opening for that stock, and so does Kirby.
Indeed. Just looking for it. Just, such a scary brawl. Beat. Kills. No kill screen.
I did say if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, and Kirby did in fact do that. Able to take the round, even once again, bringing us down to a 3v3 stock. Finale.
Yeah. We're going to see how the Olimar deals with this Kirby. They're both small. That makes something. I don't know if that matters for gameplay at all, but...
I mean, it can change the hitbox a little bit, It's Kirby versus Sephiroth, very different, ability to hit with those Pikmin if you're trying to aim for that. So that'll be... I don't know. This will be a completely new matchup. We haven't seen it. Olimar as the anchor, Kirby running into that. I can't see like any true distinct advantages in this matchup. There's definitely like benefits, but there's not anything where I'm like, Dark Pit versus Kirby, where it was like Dark Pit is not going to have a fun time. He's just going to keep getting slapped in the face by all of the Pikmin. But in this case, Kirby has a little bit more opportunity to maneuver around that, but doesn't necessarily have a full advantage against Olimar either.
I think something scary is Kirby's copy ability in this matchup is actually pretty good. He plucks a Pikmin and throws it, so it gives him range. So we're probably going to see a lot of projectile wars here.
If they allow the swallow to go through. That is the big thing.
Yeah, you cannot let that happen, in my opinion.
The saddest thing is whenever Kirby manages to do that, and then you're like, oh, look at that. He gets to take my abilities
now. What
if
I rot?
Yeah, what have I let happen? And it's honestly, it's a funny animation though, so I get a little, we get some fun out of just Kirby just turning into a vacuum cleaner. Essentially, he's like, I'm going to drag anything in that I possibly can.
He's just looking for a snack.
He's like, I'm just hungry. I mean, hey, that's his whole MO. He's always hungry, right? I mean, we've seen it in the games. We've seen it in everything that he's in. He's like, I'm going to eat. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it for my abilities, and you're not going to have a good time as a result. So it'll be an interesting matchup between these two characters. I'm excited to see more Olimar. We love the Pikmin rotation. We'll get to see some fun with that.
Yeah, and we're going to see the classic red, blue, and yellow starting off this game. Supersonic coming in with 3 stocks, meaning the rotation doesn't change at all. A little bit of a quirk for the system here.
Yeah, it isn't. It's interesting actually because you bring that up a lot, and I think that's a really fun thing about the crew battle. It doesn't matter for most characters, but for Olimar, it really is a benefit because if you do lose a stock, you might come out with better Pikmin than you normally would because there are the default Pikmin that you have to start out with and that you have to maneuver around normally. But we've seen plenty of times Purple's been able to come out and then take a stock.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun, like, unique mechanic within a crew battle, and we might get to see that a little bit as we get to go into looks like Pokemon Stadium.
The classic, gotta have the classic for the finale of this game, potentially this set, we'll see.
And we're gonna get right into it. There are no stocks to lose. Both players going in, trying to get as much damage in to start. Kirby taking on 30% to Olimar's 5% here, as Olimar is just going to try and zone him out as much as he can.
Oh, here we go.
The swallow!
Yeah, so this is very scary now. We saw a lot of advantage from Olimar being able to throw those Pikmin away, but now Kirby can do the same thing. But he can't really if he can't touch the ground, which is what BSU is doing very efficiently right here, just not letting the Kirby even play the game, to be honest.
Yeah, Boise State looked at that and went, okay, yeah, you have Pikmin, but I am not going to let you get that opportunity. We can see Olimar is looking for an opportunity here to get Kirby off ledge again. After all, if a knockout occurs, the Swallow will be gone, and Olimar is looking for that.
Yeah. The rack up in percent, like Kirby, every character here we've been talking about is light, but 100%, that's kill percent.
Yep.
A lot of any purple back air, any purple anything, to be honest, kills here.
We
so that's
are
probably
in the
what we're
danger
looking
zone.
for. No purples quite yet.
Yeah, not getting great luck with the purple. Boise State just trying to bide their time for that opportunity to get the knockout. Kirby starting to get some more percentage onto Olimar, 70%, bringing him to ledge, starting to throw out his own Pikmin, getting a little bit more of an opportunity.
Blue Pikmin, that's something you gotta look for. Blue Pikmin's only big thing in this game is that throw right there. Kill
It's like, I toss you and you're gone. Olimar getting some more momentum already with the stock loss, 96% onto Olimar. He's trying to get some good range, gets him onto ledge. He's going to go for the throw and try to deny that swallow this time.
And just look at the advantage when Kirby can't use the neutral B. It's so scary. He's just getting zoned out.
Yeah, and that's what Olimar is going to continue to do at 104%. He's going to want to try and avoid getting near Kirby as much as he possibly can, and we see that. The Kirby at 74%.
Risky.
110% though.
Yeah.
Not really able to get what he wants out of this. Oh.
And that's the stock, yeah. Gonna get a new set of Pikmin here. We see one purple.
There's a purple, ready
big
to
decider
go.
in the game.
Yeah, running around.
Oh,
111% onto Kirby. Olimar in a really nice position for a stock. Kirby not going to let that happen immediately. Going to get 15% onto him, gets the sword out, but he's not going to be able to gain control of the stage as Olimar is just keeping him on ledge as much as possible.
The ledge spells Doom. That was a safe attack. Just straight back to ledge.
This might spell Doom here.
It's just the warning sign, 150%.
Oh,
you don't got
see
much
the purple
time
coming out too. Olimar is ready to hit him with the back air.
A little bit of a breeze for Kirby until he gets hit by a purple. My fault. I thought he was going to have a chance there in the middle. Taking your time to take a deep breath. It's your final stock, potentially final stock of the crew battle.
Yeah, with this, Boise State is all one stock away from taking this match.
Double purple and red, so much damage coming out and so scary for Kirby. Just, like, what is going to happen?
Yeah, we can see Kirby's trying to figure out what to do. Olimar's not quite giving him the opportunity. 72% on Olimar, 44%. Olimar is very comfortable. He's got two stocks. Kirby's got one.
That's
he wants
the big
that
answer
swallow,
for Kirby.
but he's getting denied right now.
Yeah, everyone knows that's the answer for Kirby. That's what was winning him earlier in the game, and if that doesn't happen, then he's screwed.
Yeah, we can see 88% to 59% on Kirby. Kirby getting control of the middle, knocks Olimar off to the side of the stage, but Olimar having great recovery, able to knock off. Kirby's going to try and launch him to the other side, 118% to that 59.
Olimar can't really fight back right now. No Pikmin, only has like 3 moves he can use. Has to pluck those Pikmin. Gets an instant purple, yeah. Great rotation awareness. Great rotation awareness.
And with that, 131 on Olimar in the danger zone. Kirby just as much so. This is all riding on whether or not Kirby can get the stock knockout. He's able to bring it 1-1.
So much
but
extra
at
credit.
95%, it is a dangerous game for Southern California. Boise State really looking for the opportunity. They know they can get it. Kirby gets launched off the side and off ledge.
indeed. This blue Pikmin, oh, that's how the first stock went to be. That grab, yeah, we got to get away from it. Kirby chilling in the air. No grabs happening here.
Yeah, Kirby trying his best to keep
Oh,
the advantage.
speaking of grabs, and
Almar's gonna get it.
that is the entire crew battle. Everyone popping off for blue Pikmin and for BSU.
And with that, Boise State is able to take the second game and win the match overall. Southern California versus Boise State. Boise State is the victor with the blue Pikmin taking them home.
Yeah, I was Pikmin for the win. We see the Pikmin on the plush there. That was kind of the story of the crew battle. We didn't see a lot of Olimar last time. He kind of got rushed down, but we got to talk a lot about him this time because he was putting in work.
Yeah, Olimar was able to get a lot of stocks for Boise State. Overall, Boise State was able to take the round. You know, it was a very close match. It's not often that we get to see one stock to one stock like that, just hanging on for both teams. And overall, both of them were able to show a lot of incredible abilities. So any last thoughts before we close it out here?
I love Boise State's decision to their characters. We only saw one swap, and it was a reasonable one. It was Lucina on the Doctor, and that's a known character for him. We didn't stray into Meta Knight and some random matchups for the sake of the matchup. They just played what they knew, and they got the victory as a result.
Yeah, playing some characters. We got to see some new characters, some old characters. We got to see a lot of wonderful matchups. But with that, that's all that we have for you tonight here at the Boise State Esports Arena. With that, Boise State is the winner. Congratulations, and have a great night.